republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Board of Supervisors meeting, March 11th, 2025. Is there any changes to the agenda?
I have.
I have none. I have none.
You have none, okay. And we shall meet with the department head and elected officials. Sarah Doty, auditor.
Good morning. Had the election last week. Quite the turnout that I was impressed with. Our last Burlington special, we had 975 voters. This time we had 2,853. So we ran short on ballots in a couple precincts, but they were able to use the OVI and vote that way. Had some equipment failure on one of them, just the thin little paper that they readjusted for the OVI is not the thick stuff that they used to have. I contacted them and asked about that, and they said they no longer make it because it used to get stuck in the other machines. So they now have the thin paper, and it was getting stuck in the bottom of one of the machines at a precinct. So they kept having to unjam that. But huge shout out to my staff, the maintenance staff that day. Everybody helped out big time. I was not feeling the best, so my staff they stepped up and helped out quite a bit. We got everything done. Now we're on the backside auditing and getting things balanced and cleaned up and good to go. So we have our audit today, and then everything on reporting is done. I just have to balance a couple precincts left, and then we're good to go. So, thank you.
Thank you. Colin, IT department.
Good morning. Got the conference this week, so looking forward to that. Other than that, just keep busy like always. Nothing to report.
Thank you. Sheriff Glenn Denning.
Good morning. See, last week we had the Greater Burlington Partnership Leadership presentation. We did the jail tour and presented to them on the sheriff's office and all that we're doing in Des Moines County. So that was a great opportunity to get out and speak with some future leaders. And then on Thursday night, the Burlington Snow Bowl through the Burlington Strong Committee, and in partnership with Titan Broadcasting. I want to throw that out there. They did an excellent fundraiser for all law enforcement in Des Moines County. They raised $4,500 total for the K-9 units and are donating $1,500 to West Burlington PD, Burlington PD, and the Sheriff's Office. We appreciate that support, the community support that has provided for and sustained the K-9 programs has just been invaluable. This morning at the jail, we were at 85, 10 were out of county, so moving in the right direction there. That's kind of the manageable number we like to see. But we had 5 in intake, so we'll see where that takes us. 3 on the wait list to go to prison, 5 on the wait list to go to a residential facility. 1 getting extradited, so always a moving number out there.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Lisa, how's the attorney's office?
We're busy.
Busy?
Terry is in trial today on an arson case upstairs that occurred late last year. And we're just keeping busy. We're still searching for a new victim witness coordinator, special programs coordinator. So that's still underway. But other than that, we're just going with the flow.
Okay, thank you. Jared Lasker, regional plan.
Morning. So we're very busy, but it seems like the time of year people are doing stuff with land swaps and building things, and so we're definitely keeping busy with various things there. Had a subdivision, minor subdivision just recorded today. We've got several moving through the system right now, a couple waiting to be recorded, and then have one on the agenda today, and we'll probably have one the following week, and I believe the following week after that too. So it's pretty much in process, so I don't have anything else to report.
Okay, thank you. Natalie, recorder's office.
Good morning. Everything's going well in the recorder's office. Nothing new to share.
Okay, thank you. Shannon, how's the emergency management doing?
We are good. If you haven't seen already, Friday night, we are potentially expecting our first round of severe weather. So it's the start of the season. So just pay attention to the weather. We did have our National Weather Service spotter class last week, so we had about 55 individuals come to attend that class, so I'm very excited. We do currently have a burn ban in place because of the red flag warning yesterday. So keep watch in the news, the papers, on the radio, social media, et cetera, et cetera. Once that will get turned off, and then we can continue burning as we would like. But that's about all I have going on in my neck of the woods.
Okay, thank you. Rodney, how's the maintenance?
Doing okay, nothing new to report this morning.
Okay, thank you. Krista, public health.
Good morning. We're also keeping busy, but nothing new to report.
Mr. Carter, you got two of you can really add to the board.
Yeah.
How's Secondary Road going?
Well, I think you know about all the closures. Bridges are moving along. Obviously, right now in this phase of the project, it's kind of slow. They're just easing in the demo, but there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. The 2 asphalt jobs, Highway 34, we expect to start the first week of April. That'll be patching first, and then we expect 99 to have the patching done, start that following week. Then there'll be a pause on 99 for a little bit before they start doing the milling. On Highway 34, I think they're hoping to start milling right after the patching. So April and May is gonna be very active on both of those roads. So I guess if you live up in that area, that's all coming fairly short notice, and it will be all 1-lane closure stuff that we do. It will not be full closure. There may be a few, along 99, there may be a few side roads that have full closure because of the work that we're doing. But those will be fairly limited, at the most a day or two. We did take dust control bid opening yesterday, had one bidder, which was the same contractor we've had for, I think, all but one of the years that I can recall. But we have 4 companies total that always ask for the bid packet. They just, 3 of them didn't submit. The prices I thought were pretty reasonable. In fact, I don't remember exactly what last year's was, but it was a minimal increase compared to everything else, so that's a good thing. So we will, as you guys know, we have a gravel road detour for the Danville Road closure. I would anticipate trying to get that sprayed with dust control probably here in about 2 weeks. We want to get a little bit closer to April to feel a little bit better about the weather patterns, but we are going to go ahead and treat that with dust control. And then of course the rest of the dust control will be quite a bit later, late April, May, sometime like that would be my assumption. So anyway, that was in the books and good, and other than that, there's a lot of stuff going on. I did meet with the Levy and Drainage District yesterday morning for over an hour. I don't think it was 2, but so I appreciated their time. They had asked, I try to meet with them a couple times a year, and they called and asked. We have some projects that we're kind of overlapping on, that they want to do some work and needed some input from us. So there's some stuff going on with that, and I meet with Farm Bureau tonight, so I'll go meet with them and give them an update on everything. I give it an update here on, I'm sure, and answer any questions they have. So other than that, it's not quite full busy season, but it's kind of there. It's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, so, which is good. That's what we need.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
I got a report from Chris. He's not able to make it this morning, but they're kicking off their hunting and fishing mentor program on March 20th, 6 p.m. at the Drake. Food is provided. You can RSVP online. And then April 3rd is the Foundation's I Heart County Parks Banquet at Barn on the Ridge at 5:30 p.m. You can buy your tickets online. The links to all the events are on the website and on Facebook.
What was the date for Barn on the Ridge?
April 3rd at 5:30.
Okay, thank you. Correspondence, either of you don't have any correspondence?
I have none.
I had none.
I have none. move on to discussion and vote. We have a resolution for the final plat of the second addition to the Moines subdivision.
Good, I sent you a staff report here just because we're including a couple of conditions on the approval resolution, so I just wanted to give some background there. I'll give a quick summary. So this is north of Burlington, off of Spold 61, a few miles north of town. So this is a property that's actually been subdivided several times, and this is down to just over an acre, one lot subdivision being split off of the existing family property here to be sold to a family member for developing a house. And they're in the process of getting that, facilitating that project, and it needs to be transferred to their name just in order to proceed with that project. The lot does meet the minimum lot size and exceeds it by a decent amount. The minimum is 40,000 square feet. However, there's the health department, they had expressed concerns that this the high water table in this area may present a challenge for septic installation on that property. And it's the same extended family owns several properties around there, and it's based on how one of the previous septic systems for the other properties was installed, that it's likely that it would need to drain onto an adjoining property. So we're just putting a condition on the resolution that says that since that hasn't been installed yet, they don't know exactly where it's gonna go. The subdivision can be approved, but if it is necessary to have that septic encroach onto the adjoining property, then they would need to have an easement recorded to go along with that, and they've been informed of that and are aware of that condition. In addition, this is more just related to the history of this area, because these properties all rely on this same shared private driveway. It does not comply with a number of the subdivision standards in terms of width of the driveway and the width of the easement. However, it's situated on land that's not owned by the subdivider, so there's a complicated history there. But in order to allow this one minor subdivision lot to be split off, that would need to waive some of those official requirements there. But then going forward, if any of the surrounding farmland were to be split for multiple residential lots, then that would need to be addressed at that time. They would need to coordinate and figure out a way to improve that road for future access. But that's all I have. If anybody have any questions?
Motion to approve the resolution 2025-13.
Second.
Sarah?
Tom Broker?
Yes.
Shane McCampbell?
Yes.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah. We'll sign these after.
Thank you.
After the meeting. Okay, moving on. We have the resolution for the appointment of the Moines County EMS District. Says, up now on March 4th, 2025, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. at the official polling places in townships of Washington, Yellow Springs, Benton, Huron, Jackson, and Franklin. An election was held to approve or disapprove the levy of the initial tax of 79 cents per 1,000 assessed value to all the taxable property, not including the agriculture, land, or centrally assessed property, with the district and to choose candidates as officials or trustees of the district. Whereas Iowa Code Section 357F.9 requires the Board of Supervisors to appoint 3 from the top 5 receiving the highest number of votes as trustees for the district. The top 5 candidates were Dan Word, 166, Dan Frank, 160, Jim Mahaffey, 153, Chuck Master, 6, Brian Schmidt, 6. Now therefore be it resolved that the Moines County Board of Supervisors appoints the following trustees to serve a staggered term of Dan Word, 1 year, Jim Mahaffey, 2 years, Dan Frank, 3 years.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah?
Shane Campbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
I would also like to say, since they're all beginning their terms now and they have to be on a staggered term, we did draw names for that. We were gonna wait and do it today, and have the board draw, but I had the gals in my office draw on Thursday because I had to have it completed for the canvas to know who took what term. So, the names were selected randomly, they weren't just given a 1, 2, or 3 year term. Do what?
Say whatever you.
Yeah, we drew on Thursday and, yeah.
Okay, moving on, we have a Class C liquor license, it's an annual renewal for the.
Stamp fee.
Yeah, you can see.
You want to stay up there? Okay. Yes, the boss says that. Okay. There you go. Okay, for the, Class C liquor license for the annual renewal of the Hardesty Farm. Everything okay on this, Sheriff?
No concerns on
No
our end.
concerns on this? And it has been signed and everything, so what's your,
I move to approve Class C liquor license for Harvest View Farms.
Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. I'd like to say this is pending dram shop review. So. We have personnel actions. We have 1 for the county attorney, 3 for the correctional officer, and 1 for conservation. The county attorney, we can do all at once here. There's only 1 of them. This is for Daniel Cassidy, Records Legal Assistant. It's an 18-month step increase. Previous rate was $38,078. The new rate is $39,017.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. We have 3 of them for the correctional center. The first one is for Angela Dunn, correctional officer. The leave, FMLA leave, unpaid hours 73.30. And the next one is for Peyton Krogemeyer. It's military, unpaid leave for 77.11 hours. And we have Kelly,
Sierra Kelly.
Sierra Kelly, okay. It's an anniversary 24-month step increase of $52,259.27 to new rate of $53,287.41 effective April 1st, 2025.
Motion to approve all 3.
Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Okay, now we have 1 for conservation. For Marcus Knack, anniversary, 36-month step increase, $56,259.84, $58,094.40.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we have reports. We have recorders for fees collected February 2025, and the clerk's report for fees collected February 2025. These will be on file in the auditor's office for your reviewing at your own discretion. Okay, now we have the minutes for the regular meeting of March 4th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yep.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we have the minutes for the special meeting on March 7th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Abstain. Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. We have the canvas results of the March 4th special election.
So Burlington had the public measure for the gas and electric franchise. Both of those were a no, with a 53.1% no to a 46.99% yes. West Burlington had their PPEL, and they had a 94 votes for yes, with an 88.68%, so they, that passed. Indianapolis had an EMS district, trustee and public measure for both the city and the county, and both of those passed as well. And then the trustees were all selected, from the top 5 that they just selected today, and then the city will select their, top 5 and pass those on their meeting on the 17th. Just the top page. No.
Just
Never
sign.
mind. Yep, just sign.
Motion to approve the results.
Second.
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yep.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. We shall sign these after.
That's
the
fine,
meeting.
yes.
Okay, is there any other business?
I have none.
Yes,
Future agenda items? Committee reports.
Conservation Board meeting, we just talked about trails and trying to get better use out of those, and, he's gonna start amping up another running program, and then we also talked a little bit about the hunting and the mentor program that they're starting out there. That's pretty much about it.
We meeting, there were a couple of representatives from Big River Wind that contacted me about, there's talk about wind turbines or wind energy installation in northwest corner of Moines County. Anyway, so, and we've talked about this before, so they stopped with sort of a tentative timeline. They said it's in for, into, I believe it's a federal regulator, and that they expect approval, well, they think it'll be late 2027. The regulatory agencies thought they could have it by mid-2026, but they think that's a little optimistic. Anyway, and if that was so, then you'd have construction in 2028 and operational in 2029. So, I talked to them a little bit. They've got 13,000 acres up in the Armithary south to around Pleasant Grove under lease already, and they're continuing to get leases. And I told him we'd be looking at our wind ordinance again after we'd visited Mechanicsville. And I asked them, they said it'd be they applied for a 168 megawatt installation. Anyway, so I asked them how big the turbines are. They said the towers would be 500 to 550 feet tall, and at the tip they'd be about 650 feet tall, with a capacity rating of 4 to 5 megawatts, and there would be 30 to 40 turbines in the installation. So, and I spoke to them a little bit about fire, the problems they had in Mechanicsville. There's nothing you can do if it catches on fire, because the firemen can't get to it. But they said that, you know, they could train fire departments and maybe provide some equipment, but that would be for brush fires that might start, or crop fires, or whatever the time of year might be. And that they would have half a dozen people that live in this area as for maintenance and that sort of thing. And that was about it. But they'd reached out to me because I spoke to somebody a couple years ago. Anyway, so they said, asked if they could come talk to me, and I said yeah. So they just sort of wanted to let us know where they were.
If they were gonna be 650 foot to the tip, we definitely need to get our setbacks rearranged.
Anyway, and I told them we might be looking at setbacks because of what we'd seen on Mechanicsville that Brian and I went up to. And, so, anyway, that's all I learned, and so I have not heard, and I've sent information to that lawyer that I mentioned that I contacted 3 or 4 months ago, and I sent stuff to him, and he hasn't ever responded, so I don't know whether he's busy or we're on the back burner, because it wasn't a rush, but I will reach out to him again and tell him we want to see what changes he might come up with. They did mention one thing. They said that the turbines in Mechanicsville were older. Their turbines would be newer, and they said they're less susceptible to fire. And then they said there are additional fire suppression systems available at an extra cost. And I assured them it would be at their extra cost and not ours. They agreed with that. But so we will want that, any changes in that ordinance to address the most updated or most modern fire suppression systems available on those turbines. Anyway, so that's where it stands as of last week. That's all I have.
That's a lot. That is a lot. Okay, moving on for public input. Anybody want to have any input, call 319-753-8203 extension 4, 319-753-8203 extension 4, or email board@dmcounty.com. That's board@dmcounty.com. Meanwhile, does anybody in the audience have anything to say? Board.
Tom, they say where that power would be going?
They did not. It quickly went over my head when we started discussing the regulatory agency, and apparently I think that's one thing they look at, you know, and they said, well, we've got 168 megawatts of power, you know, where does it go? How do we get it there? And the regulatory agency will come up with that. I did ask them a question. I said, what if those subsidies go away? And they said, well, we think this will operate on its own. We think it'll pay for itself. And they said, we will have contracts with, I suppose, like Ohio, you know, with power companies. And they said, if our expenses go up, they said, we'll just charge the rates we charge to the power power company, so I suppose that trickles down, but I do not know that. That's just sort of what they mentioned.
I just wanted to mention that the individual you spoke of there with the wind developer, they also met with Zach James and myself earlier that same day. They talked more about specifically the regulatory side of things. They said they were going to be meeting with you also. I just want to note that we have also been working with Lee County, with their Board of Supervisors on, because they have several prospects in the future regarding both wind and solar. So we've essentially started with the framework we've established here in Des Moines County, but there have been a number of other topics that have come up and some modifications that have been made to that ordinance. It's still a work in progress. I think we're at the point where it's just about ready to move forward on that, but I do think there are a number of improvements identified through that process that could potentially be beneficial to Des Moines County as well, in particular in regard to the emergency response. So we can definitely work with you on that, in addition to any comments you may receive from the attorney. So.
Okay.
On a different topic, I reached out to Bob Beck, and he is willing to continue as the county's representative on the Highway 61 coalition. I think that's gonna fire back up a little bit. It's been pretty sluggish the last year or two. So they're gonna have their first meeting tomorrow, which I'll call into, but I'll miss in person because of an ISAC meeting tomorrow afternoon. But just so you know, he is willing. I let you guys know over email that I was gonna touch base. He said you're welcome to have it if one of you guys wants to be it.
Oh, bless his heart. Thank you.
But he's willing, so he's gonna do his best to be there tomorrow, but it conflicts with his bus schedule, so they had to look for a sub. These bus drivers, I tell you.
He's been on for all them years.
Since it started, I
Since
believe.
it started, so,
Yeah.
got more expertise on that than anybody here.
Yep. So I'd let you know that.
2 minutes are up. So with live, we're out of here.
Bye.
We do have a work session with the county engineer for a road tour if anybody wants to go. But I don't see any interest in it. You what?
I have a meeting at 11.
So.